we get to talk about events and marketing. For those of you who don't know, I've not only been running events for almost 20 years, but I co-own the Yoga Expo, which is the largest yoga trade show in the United States. And we get to fill rooms with, 1,000, 2,000 people. And events have been one of the ways that my business has grown the best. And I'm not going to say the fastest, because when we talk about speed, an event takes time, right, to put together. So I can't say the fastest, but it's gotten me the most qualified, quality, most amazing people who join my programs. So I want you all to look at events and event marketing as one of the ways, especially if you're in a holistic business, that you can speed up the impact. That you can do, because through events, whether they're live or virtual, okay, so get this right, live or virtual, for example, a virtual summit. So this is back in 2017 when I had already figured out my business model for coaching, when I had already, understood how to work with funnels, like all the power of them, right? Not just how to work them, but the power of the funnel and the power of the events. I ran a summit, and it was called the Lifestyle and Business of Yoga Summit. And I had about 21 speakers who I'm still, friends with today, who were so impactful. And I grew my list by over 1,000 people with that one show event. And not only that, but I was able to then get clients who signed up to work with me afterwards because of the positioning. So let's talk about that for a second. The positioning of you as, whether it's an event producer or even an exhibitor, creates a sense of immediate authority. It creates a sense of immediate credibility. So whether you're participating in an event, like let's say all the people who come to my Yoga Expo as presenters, right? There's already that level. But the minute you go in as a presenter and exhibitor, there's a secondary level, because when you're not leading the event and you're coming in as a speaker, let's say that you came to my summit as a speaker, let's say you came to my expo as a speaker, you're going to have to maximize your exposure. You are going to want tech, you're going to want following up with leads, you're going to want automated sequences, you're going to want ways that people are going to get, I'm going to use the word indoctrinated into your brand, into who you are beyond that experience, right? So when you show up as into an event, right, as a, like I said, presenter, if you don't do your due diligence to maximize that exposure, it's basically you teaching or speaking for free and not capitalizing on it, okay? Now, when you get to be the producer of the event or the head of the event, so for example, in my summit, I not only was a speaker, because I did do a couple solo sessions, but I was also the interviewer. I was also the producer. There is an immediate sense of, wow, like you're the one leading this, you're the one putting this together. Same thing for the expo. Sandra and I, right, we lead the show. Now we have, in LA, we have a business boot camp. It's going to be intensive boot camp that comes with a month-long mastermind. But we're the producers and the speakers, and we're bringing in other speakers to maximize the experience for people. So when you produce the event, right, and get to speak in it, guess what happens? One, you get all the leads, everybody. Like that's why I have such a big email list, because I've been, for the last, 5 years, I've been putting on the Yoga Expo, or 6 years I've been putting on the Yoga Expo. Now with Sandra, this is going to be our third one together. So we have a very large list of sponsors, of presenters who've applied, plus ticket buyers. So we have a robust list of people who've actually purchased tickets to be in our show. That's a great quality lead. Now, when we market, right, for the event, what are we doing? We are creating opportunities for us to maximize that revenue, right? Whether it's through affiliate marketing, like we basically, I'm going to say we have the power to diversify our revenue because we have a captive audience that sees us as leaders, as experts. So when you decide to put together an event, right? And I'm gonna say that the in-person event is a little bit more impactful because there's something about like being able to touch people. Okay, virtual events still work. I lead them all the time. I run boot camps. I like even my the month-long mastermind that we're going to be that it already is being put together. We're going to have some registrants for the LA. You know what happens? Like there is a sense of nurturing, a sense of connection that people get to see how you work, people get to hear you, people get to see you, people get to experience you. So if you are looking at 3xing your revenue, and one of those ways being events, I highly, highly suggest one, you register for the free webinar that we have this Wednesday, and two is really start thinking about what kind of events can you put together that are going to make sense for your revenue, that are going to make sense for your goals, that are going to make sense for your lifestyle. So if you ask me, do I want to put a third expo together this year? Probably a third in-person, no, but a third virtual, yes. Right now, once I understand the power of running these virtual and in-person events, I can basically plug and play into any scenario that has to make sure that it matches my goals. So the power of event marketing, especially for conscious events, like there's so many cool events that you can do. You could do a day-long, half-day, like would I consider a retreat an event? Potentially, it's a very high-ticket event, but yes. But what I would say is like looking for more of that like low-ticket, high-volume experience, because that's very different, right? Like a retreat, you might be looking at 10 up to 15 people if you're doing it solo. But when you're looking at an event, you can bring in 30, 50, 100 people. And of course, there's different ways to market this. There's different ways to promote this. And that's what, a lot of that is what we teach, not only inside the Evolve Digital CEO, but this is also what we teach at the boot camp in January, right? It's marketing strategies. It's ways that you can really create that visibility and create that desire. Right now, for example, I'm putting together a whole landing page and funnel for my client who's leading an event in New York, which is a launch pad for her event in Europe, for a very curated high-ticket retreat in Europe. But we're using this event, it's a soiree, it's a dinner with shows, with workshops, right? That's like 5 hours long, 4 hours long. But this is going to be the kickoff to her new programs and her new projects. So powerful work that we can do in events. And look, this dinner that she's doing, it's a $800 ticket. So it's not like it's a low ticket event. She's still going for volume and high ticket. It all has to make sense for your business, for your audience, for what you are doing, for like she works with mainly luxury brands, high ticket. So this makes sense. If she were to do a like $35 dinner, it wouldn't attract the type of clients that she wants for a $7,000, $10,000 retreat, if that makes sense. So this is a great opportunity to start thinking about how can events like really work for you, right? How can you position yourself as whether it's the expert within somebody else's event or as the producer and expert. Like I always produce and speak at my own shows. Because of course, right now, if I was producing a show that had nothing to do with business or with yoga or with wellness, then maybe that would be a different story. But like I live in alignment. And even now that I'm creating my clothing line, it makes perfect sense because I get to produce a show, sponsored by Move, have a booth for Move, create like, so now we're generating sales at almost every single right opportunity. So I hope that this was a great awakening for you. I love events. I've been, like I said, doing events for years and years. They've always brought me in the best, like not just qualified, but like quality people into my life. Even me going to events, like the networking aspect of them. So start thinking about like how you're missing out on the opportunity to, yes, Ellen, to really like go into that right side of you. And like I said, virtual events, like a webinar, virtual event, a summit, virtual event, a small mindful holistic beauty event with many sponsors, powerful way to grow your business. So there's many ways that we can, like, you know, many roads that lead to Rome. And we'll be covering a lot more of this in our upcoming webinar with Sandra on Wednesday. You can find the link not only in my bio, but if you also comment on this video event, I'll send you the link. It's going to be more of it's like a free workshop. So we're actually going to be teaching and creating opportunities for you to walk away with actionable steps. And we're super excited to get all this, to teach you how Sandra and I have been running events for the last decade. She used to have an amazing show here in a little bit northern Florida by Delray, Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, most people know, for years, all about mindfulness. And she is not only amazing at getting sponsors, so she's going to teach you all her tricks on how to monetize at a greater level. I'm going to really focus on how to market and fill the events and then create sales opportunities right on the back end of the event and at the event. So can't wait to see you. Like I said, comment the word event and we will be sending you the registration link. Bye.